Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is the show where we grab books from the long box and then pull them out and compare them and rate them based on which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one is the ugly. Punisher edition!
Because we're being punished.
3 Punisher books from relatively the same era, and all of them having very different titles, and all written by different people. The first of which is Punisher Warzone #1. Next one is Punisher 2099 #1, and The Punisher #58.
I will talk about Punisher Warzone.
Take it away.
I volunteer for this one.
What happened in Punisher Warzone?
So in Punisher Warzone, you have actual Frank Castle in this, which is great. And it starts off like one of the other books did, where it's just like, when mobsters slew his family, Frank Castle vowed and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now he wishes a one war.
Every
like
Marvel comic opens with that in the 90s.
Stan Lee thing.
It's the Stan Lee thing. That's like Stan's description of the character, and then, you know, it contextualizes the character so you can jump in without any problem.
I will say, it's great because for the first one I read, and then I read another one, #1 right after that. I was like, I get it. I just read it.
Yeah, but what if you didn't?
Yeah, what if this is your first Punisher book?
Yeah.
Ah.
I kind of wish this was, and the only. So you've got Frank Castle. He's in a slum, I believe in the Bronx at the moment. And there's a guy who has a gun to a police officer's head, and he's threatening to kill her. And Frank's like, "There's no way you're going to do it, and I don't have a clean shot to kill you with immediately, so I'm just going to shoot you in the gut."
It's hardcore.
Which he does just immediately. He's just like, "I've got an Uzi, bam!" No, he's not messing around.
No,
He is making a mess though. And then the police officer, who is on the ground, is trying to check on her partner, and then Frank, in the best splash page ever, just annihilates the criminal.
Can I tell you something really quick? I was watching Tiffany read this book.
And she's like, "This is the worst splash page ever."
She did this. Because she hates when people do this, and in the 90s they were all doing that. They were like, "Look at the landscape we can pull."
I agree. Turning it sucks, but I love this
I thought
image.
this was rad as hell.
Then make a poster.
It is a poster.
Yeah.
Then, well, I can't take it out of there. Just make the poster.
But I want it in my book. It's got to be part of it.
Well, then make it smaller.
But then how will you feel? Alright, so that's over. So then the cop pulls her gun on him. Is like, "You know, you're a vigilante. I'm taking you in." And he's like, "Hey, do what you gotta do." And walks away.
Yeah.
Oh, look
I'm not even. It's like cool guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not even gonna look at your gun. I'm just gonna turn.
I'm not even going to look at
Yeah,
you.
he's
shoot
also
me
like,
and
I'm
I
also
said, walk
wearing
away.
like bulletproof armor, so
Yeah.
like, yeah.
If
Do
don't
what you
shoot.
gotta do.
Here's the thing: if you shoot me, I'm gonna turn around. I'll punish you.
Well,
Yeah.
you're probably not gonna shoot me in the head,
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Does he wear body armor? I can't tell.
Yes.
Okay.
So then he's back at the home base with microwave.
Microchip.
Whatever. The guy looks like he eats a dozen TV dinners.
Yeah, I thought he was just... I thought he was named for what he eats.
No, he's named because he's a computer specialist.
Yeah.
He's microchip.
Microchip.
Micro there is talking to Frank and being like, "Look, you're being too hard on yourself. You gotta take this easy." And Frank's like, "I can't take it easy. This is the lifestyle. This is what we do."
Yeah.
And then Microwave's like,
You
I
forget me.
don't even know who you are these days," and he walks out.
Right, like they're married.
And then Frank's like, "I gotta follow him and see what he does."
Where's he going?
What are you doing?
What? Out.
It's like Chuck Dixon had a script
Yeah.
for like a really hardcore married couple, and they're like, "Hey, we need those pages for Punisher." He's like, "Oh,
Oh, all right, hang on. Let me just make this person really fat and a guy, and I'll make this person the Punisher.
and we're good."
So then he follows Microwave. God damn it, I didn't. He follows Microchip to an office, and it's the rain, and like he's wearing Microchip is wearing a disguise, so like he can't be easily recognized. So he's wearing a fake beard, and Frank Castle can't see what he's saying. Looking through binoculars, trying to read his lips, he's like, "Oh, but something's going on. Dang it!" So then he waits for him, almost in the moonlight, I guess.
Yeah, with a
At the
cold
home base.
dinner.
Better, a gun that he's polishing.
Yeah.
And he's like, "So where were you?"
Hey.
And he's like, "What? You followed me?" He's like, "Of course I followed you. What were you doing? Huh?"
Yeah.
And then he throws a glass and calls him a whore.
Were you seeing him two-time influencer?
And then Microchip says, I was talking to a psychoanalyst because, like, your family's dead and my son is dead, but, like, I'm doing something about it. I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And Frank
I
Castle's,
can't talk to you.
Because you're a stone cold asshole.
And, like, all you care about is killing people. That's it.
Yeah, that's
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I'm the Punisher.
And
I
then
kill people. That's
and
all
then
I do.
The Punisher is like, I had to break him down a little bit. I had to make him see that, like, yeah, he's weak, but he needs more scar tissue. And then he just starts destroying the place. He literally, like, breaks boxes and shoots the glass out of windows. I'm like, this is your home base, and you're just wrecking stuff?
Yeah, he's real mad.
He's upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way the
He's
Punisher can
acting
express
out.
his sadness.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a 4-year-old.
And then you get a scene down in...
Colombia.
Oh, no. The Republic of Yaritagua off the Caribbean coast of Colombia.
Fair enough. You got me there. Damn it.
Yeah. And there's an uprising there, and there's a president that is going to be overthrown by this general, but the general's son, like, went out to overthrow him, but they were taken out by one man, and it was a squad of, like, 100 elite soldiers, and he's like, how is this possible?
You're
And
all
then
thinking like, oh man, Punisher went to
the Punisher was
Colombia at
down
some
there, that's
point.
crazy. And then bam, 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 they all get blown away. And it's this guy called Shotgun.
Just because he uses a shotgun, you see.
Well-
That's not what he's holding.
Look, here's the thing.
Maybe it's a shotgun.
When you're a new character in the Marvel Universe, you know that most of the cool names have been taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta take what you got.
Yep. Yep.
Like Suicide or Shotgun.
There you go. Exactly.
Especially if you're hardcore.
Yeah.
Or Shades.
Yeah.
Wear sunglasses. I'm surprised they didn't call him that.
Or Boots for his knee-high boots.
So then
Or studs.
Frank Castle wakes up and he's like, Micro, are you here? Maybe he's gone someplace. He'll be back though. I know he'll be
Because
back.
last when he goes to bed, he's like, well, he'll be back. Then he wakes up and he's like, Micro, you here yet? No, he's not. He'll be back.
He's not?
He'll be back.
He'll be back though. He'll be back.
He's gonna come
I'm sorry,
back.
Micro. Come on, boy.
Wait a minute. What happened to Shotgun?
I'll tell you. So then, no one cares.
Yeah.
So now, some people from the Carbone family knock over an Asian restaurant that was apparently a bank or a holding area for the triads and their cash. And in the middle of them doing it, Frank Castle apparently was watching them do this. So he took out the driver in the getaway car, and then on top of another car, again,
Another
splash
page. Yep.
where he's
see-
just mowing
But
them
you don't
down.
have to turn the
didn't
book
have
sideways.
I didn't have to turn the page.
But Tiffany likes this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great
It's great
page.
looking.
That's amazing.
But it looks like he's taking his anger out now that
Yeah.
Micro was gone
Yeah.
on the villains, which works.
I mean, it's more effective.
Except now we get the scene in the Punisher movie,
Yes.
which apparently they stole from this comic.
What? So you mean to tell me that people who make movies and don't understand comic books just steal random scenes from books?
He's like, you're going to get me into the family, and you're going to tell them I'm like a cousin of yours from Kansas City.
Well, I think I think he pulled that out of his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yo,
that-
I'm like your cousin. From Kansas. Whatever.
you gotta have a connection. I gotta vouch for
Yeah,
you.
it doesn't matter.
that's a place somewhere.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
Maybe
not New York.
he was in Kansas City, so it's a believable
Yeah.
connection.
So since, like, the other people in the robbery got gunned down by the Punisher, the
he exploded
Carbone
like
family.
12 guys.
The Carbone family's like, well, we need muscle to pull another job. And they're like, Mickey, you're still alive. Do you know anyone that can help out? And Mickey's like, I got a cousin from Kansas City who can help.
And what's
Yeah.
his name?
Johnny Tower.
He's also an American Gladiator. And,
His other cousin Pyro was not available.
But he walks in, and he's got his hair tied back, and he's wearing a little gold earring. But at the same time, I'm like,
That's
this
the
is just the
Punisher.
Punisher, though. Like,
Yeah.
how do they not recognize the Punisher?
But does everyone know what Punisher looks like at this point?
I don't guess.
I
not.
assume they all
I didn't
focus on
think
the
so.
skull and the
Yeah.
dying. Most people don't walk away from the Punisher.
Yeah,
Right,
most
that's
people don't,
true.
but, like, I imagine there have been pictures of him at times.
Well,
I
there,
don't know.
I think
we
it
know
depends-
for a fact there are photos of the Punisher because in another book they reveal
Right,
it.
but it depends on where this lies within, like,
the
is it a
continuity.
reboot? Is it a...
No, it's not a reboot. These are all supplemental books.
Anyway,
Okay.
then he's there, and we get this wonderful Three Musketeers ad at the end.
This is John Romita Jr. in here. This is John Romita, like, at his prime. It's John Romita doing what Frank Miller wishes he could have done in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is, and that's what, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
the
is
art
what it
is
is.
fantastic.
It's
The writing is
so...
fine.
The writing is good.
I
in my
mean,
opinion.
I think it's a solid
compared to
Punisher.
many of the other books we do on the
Yes.
show, the
And here's the
writing's pretty
thing.
good.
I love that torture scene And apparently this is where it came from, so huge props to the person that wrote this.
Yeah, it's a straight up, and I believe it's Chuck Dixon who did this, who also wrote many Punisher books, including the Punisher Batman book that we did in the back issue.
Boldly go, Sal. Boldly go.
Wow.
Yeah, the double-page Star Trek Game Boy game ad.
Finally.
But like, this is what made people think Romita Jr. was awesome.
Yeah. Well, because he was.
He was, and then...
Yeah,
Then-
Chuck
Even
Dixon,
though
John
he
Romita
did
Jr.
put in one
Klaus
sideways...
Janson.
Klaus Jansen's the
I
inker.
got
Yeah.
trust
Oh, and
me,
Jim
this-
Novak is the letterer.
The last issue of Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme, which was an ongoing series that just ended recently, the entire book is that way.
Ugh.
I was like,
That's a nightmare.
what? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just don't do
Yeah,
it.
you know what I want to look like when I'm reading my comic books?
Yeah.
Ooh! Well, Tiffany, if it's a Doctor Strange book, I think we
You
kind of
usually
believe
are.
it. All right.
Also, shout out to the die cut cover.
Die cut, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, I think that the reason they chose the die cut was because it has the word die in it.
My eyes went right to this because there's just so much going on this.
so
cover.
much good?
There is...
No.
Well,
I mean, you've got of course the metallic finish on the border there.
yeah,
you know,
it's shiny.
'cause
You
it's
can't
the
tell at
future.
home, but it's like...
But you know, it's the future. You
holographic
gotta
like.
have something.
Yes.
You gotta have something there.
All the 2099 first issues.
Have
had
that,
that,
right?
okay.
You got the Punisher's logo here, which looks like the skull is doing like the winky emoji now.
Well, it's like lightning bolt skull eyes.
I
Well,
guess.
it's like,
Futuristic.
It's
it's like
future.
Spider-Man
It's the future.
2099 eyes.
Yeah.
Then of course you have the Punisher screaming and shooting his gun so fast that we see.
The muzzle flash repeated many
Over
times. I
and
guess he's
over
doing
again.
this.
He's
yeah.
yeah.
He started shooting way too low. Is
Yeah,
basically the
it's-
problem
yeah.
there.
Well,
Well,
reason.
he was exterminating rats on the ground.
I guess.
And then
with his
the people.
like future guns.
Yeah, I guess the shooting
that
lasers
he
or
doesn't
something.
use in this book.
That is
No.
true. He does not use those.
So-
guns. They
No.
make a big point about how
he doesn't use future
them.
guns.
That's
Exactly.
interesting. What does he use, Tiffany?
Oh well, we'll get into that because
Yeah.
this book opens. Once again, we gotta make sure Stanley's on this. Stanley presents Punisher 2099, which I'm sure he was totally on board for, but the fact is, was never anything that he probably ever thought of.
Didn't want his name, or wouldn't have wanted his name. on
Right?
this,
Probably
I'm
would have
sure.
been like, okay,
Well, we could leave that off.
we don't need that.
He was so busy working on Ravage that I can imagine him not wanting.
Is it Stanley Presents?
Yeah, is it? Maybe whoever wrote this can present it.
Maybe it's not me. So of course we start in the far-flung future of 2099, where we see a young man who's fleeing unseen pursuers. He goes to a monitor-looking thing where he's trying to call the police to help him, but they're like, "Hey, you didn't pay up on your police insurance,
Yeah.
basically." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna pay it on Friday." Well, we'll help you on Friday then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ugh.
So really, like, his biggest problem is that he's a healthy young man, and there are these like roving band of surgeons who are going to harvest his blood and potentially organs from him.
Yeah, I think that one's hard.
That's what you have to worry about in the future, people.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's okay, because the Punisher shows up way too late to help him. Because he is on the
They're
ground.
talking about how he's losing
He's
his
already
blood.
eviscerated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're like, oh, we gotta harvest these while the blood's still pumping, kind of thing. Like, they're
Yep.
trying to get things out. The Punisher shows up, and he's kind of surveying everything.
Tiffany, how can he punish them if they haven't committed a
Yeah,
crime
he's like,
yet?
I gotta wait for him
Exactly.
to actually
He's like, oh,
kill
okay,
him.
now I'm good.
And he's dead.
I've been watching it for the past hour. They've just been walking around stalking this guy.
Yeah.
But
You know
now
what?
that they've murdered him,
Exactly. And we get a great example of what a quality book this is going to be, because we see the Punisher here in his costume, and then we see him here, and the skull is there. On this page, there's no top of the
It's
skull.
Shadow.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, they just screwed it
They
up.
just messed up the
They
art.
just didn't bother.
Yep.
how
Also,
about my crotch teeth?
Yeah, this costume is
Well, I assume...
fucking horrible.
Look.
This is atrocious. This is Judge Dredd level.
Yep.
He is
Judge
wearing...
Dredd looks awesome.
He's wearing
In
high-density plasto armor. Clearly he wants to protect this region.
Yeah.
And I think you guys could agree that's a region you want to protect.
Yeah, but you don't want to make giant white teeth out of it.
Well, I mean,
Listen.
look, maybe that's where like you're like maybe I didn't spend as much armor up here, so I need to draw them down
The
to this
teeth
area
are-
where
the-
I'm protected.
The teeth is where ammo goes.
Oh,
It's easy
right.
access.
You just
for
gotta
ammunition.
reach on down
It's
into
sure
there.
easy access.
Yep.
Yeah.
These guys immediately use their future tech to like figure out what the Punisher has got going on him.
Ooh, they-
Again, don't forget these guys who use scalpels. They have the ability to literally like have X-ray vision to
Yeah.
see
Well,
everything.
they
scan
asked
it.
the computer to scan
Right?
him.
Scan him!
Yeah.
It sure isn't so that we know how badass the Punisher is.
Yeah, so we
Going
can
into
name
this.
Yep.
in
Every
like,
weapon
in every
that he's
excruciating
carrying.
detail
Yeah.
what the name of the weapons are.
Exactly, but Well, in particular, he has a Smith & Wesson 2015 gun, which for this time is still a future gun.
Yep.
Because this is the 90s that this book is written in.
Yes.
Technically
But it's not
a future
that
gun.
future.
No.
Well, it's a 54 caliber though,
Exactly.
which doesn't exist.
Not yet.
Well,
Just go 2 years in the past.
yeah, and you'll find it. One guy. He opens fire. We get, we see them shooting their pink lasers at him and just having no effect on him. So he, waits. It is going to have an effect. It's going to burn through him, but he gets his opening, which is like, how do you not have an opening? They're just
Right?
standing there shooting
Yeah,
lasers.
You had your opening when they
He should
were
have been able to
cutting
kill
that
them
guy
before
open.
they
Yeah.
could even shoot back.
Yeah, exactly.
He wastes a lot of time.
He does.
Yeah.
But then we get this cool shot of him firing the Smith & Wesson and it, just taking this one guy out.
Yeah.
Out of the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rad.
Right, and then...
And then yellow blood comes out of it.
yeah, or spittle, or...
It's really unclear.
It's a way to skirt the comics code.
Yeah.
or
Well, it's
By
not
making
blood.
the blood. It is blood, but we're just not making it as graphic.
Maybe it's fear. Or
Well, in the
it's
future,
life.
in the future, your blood is yellow, or he's just peeing out of his wound.
Yeah, he's
Exactly.
Yeah, he's peeing himself so severely
So,
that
like-
it's shot out of every orifice.
While he was shooting this guy, I guess the other guys were just doing nothing.
Yeah, they were just watching how awesome
Yeah.
it was.
So then he pulls out his big power bat, which
Yeah.
has varying degrees of punishment that it can
Yeah.
delve out, but he's only used one setting.
And it's the most hardcore.
It's the most maximum.
Now I have
Yeah.
to assume, by the way,
Whoa.
this bat came from the year 2015 as well, because he stole it from Griff and his team.
Obviously,
When Griff Cannon pulled out the
Yes.
bat that
Yeah.
extends.
Yeah.
right? It's obviously not just a metal rod that doesn't have any settings.
No, well, no, because sometimes it turns to rubber, and other times it's like a super dense.
And it's got
Oh.
spikes.
It just looks like a metal rod.
Look at his shoes.
Yeah.
I just noticed this.
Yeah.
He's
they're
got
like
steel toe.
But they're pointy.
And they're like pointy.
Well,
sharp
yeah, they're like an
shoes.
Italian boot.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing. Look, he's looking back. He's looking at the tarantula. He's like, he took it too far. Me?
No.
They'll be pointed, but not that pointed.
I'm not gonna thuck that much.
No, just
Oh,
a little.
oh, you thuck. Trust me.
Yeah. So anyway, he waylays them, and then we find out that we're actually watching security cam footage from cops who are just like, dude, this guy's doing our job better than we do. We're gonna lose our paycheck. That's why they care. They
Yes.
don't care about the vigilantism. They just care that they may not have a job because this guy's doing it better than they
Yeah.
are.
Yep.
But he is also using a face scrambler, which shows a smiley face yellow version of the Punisher skull over his face.
That is
It's
so
pixelated.
pixelated
Yeah.
Yeah.
that it is egregious.
As a kid, I didn't understand, and I thought it was a mask he was wearing, and I'm like, that sucks so hard. But
Why did he put on a mask?
the fact that it's a censored
Yeah, it's like a floating
GIF.
thing that appears above his
I
head.
think
wherever
it's
he is.
amazing.
Right?
I love that idea.
So those guys are going
It's
over.
like he's trolling them.
I know, he's just like,
You
Right?
can't see me.
So they have called in Special Operations Agent Jake Gallows, who is built like a brick shithouse, and you're just like, gee!
Are you the Punisher? Also,
But
also
his
your
name
name is Jake Gallows.
His name is Jake Gallows. All right, Gallows. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little on the nose.
But all right, Jake. I'm like, this is weird. It's not Frank Castle.
Well, we're in 2099.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank
Castle's
Castle's been
made
dead
it.
for 80 years.
No, he's immortal.
And I was like, oh, this isn't Frank Castle. Shit.
Yeah. Oh.
Even though he's drawn identically.
Well, yeah, look, you
Yeah.
can't be the Punisher unless you look like that.
Unless you
No.
look like
Unless you
Right.
look like a Cro-Magnon man.
Right,
Yeah.
so they go over the fact that they're setting up the fact that if this is your first 2099 world, you need to, or book, you need to understand what the world is. So then
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
let me show you another crime where there's people with wings who fly down and pick up children and drop them from high heights. But it's okay because they're rich and have special cards, so they get away with it because the cops aren't going to touch them because whatever.
They've already paid up.
Yeah, exactly. So they're totally cool.
Yeah.
But the Punisher's taking care of it. And we see all of these other examples of that kind of crime going on where it's just someone does something horrific but then gets away with it, but then the Punisher...
Shows up and
Shows up and
he undermines our entire process.
And he doles out poetic justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then they're all complaining about the Punisher some more, and Jake Gallows is like, yeah, but he just believes in justice. They're like, what? And he's like, nothing.
They all say what?
Yeah.
Huh?
And
What
then
was
he-
that?
Say again?
And then he they're all like, no, come on, give him a break, man. He had a real rough life. Let's do the flashback where we explain what a rough life he had, how he lost his family.
Yep.
Just like Frank Castle did.
Yeah.
What's funny is they just don't even notice the skull in his eye.
That's a
that's-
metaphorical skull.
No, it's not. It's gotta be there.
Metaphorical. And I was confused because I did not understand it was
No,
supposed to
you
be a
thought
flashback.
he left the precinct and met up with his family,
Yeah,
and then they died. I'm like,
yeah.
he's been Punisher before. Like he's been Punisher, and then he gets a reason to be the Punisher.
Yeah,
Doesn't make
no,
any sense.
this
Oh, it's a
is-
flashback.
This is a terrible example of how to do a flashback.
Yeah.
They don't indicate via outfit except his hat.
Yes.
Yep.
They don't indicate via color because sometimes they'll do like a more muted color palette.
No.
Or, like-
Transitions, people. You need to learn them.
Right? Or like they'll put a thing like 5 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
No, the closest thing you
No.
get is the metaphorical skull pupil.
Right?
His
the
eye-
only thing you
close-up
get.
of his eye.
And that's nothing.
Well,
Nope.
because they didn't want to waste the page real estate to just like zoom in on the skull and then fade into the zoo.
No time. Let's
Well,
go
he-
to the zoo.
Can
Well, he doesn't wear a beret anymore.
Which, like, thank God, because that was not doing him any
Hilariously,
favors.
I thought that was someone else's hair, and I thought this was Jake.
I thought so
Initially.
too.
And I was
Me
like,
too.
wait,
Wait,
no.
hang on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Can I just say how awesome it is that we figured out cloning technology in the year 2099, and so
Yeah.
we can go to the zoo to see brontosaurs?
See now,
Yep.
but they could also be animatronic. You don't know.
That's
Yeah, they
true,
could be a field
robots.
station
Like,
diver.
But they're behind bars. You wouldn't need to do behind bars.
Unless it's the idea.
It's
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it's to maintain
so
the
you think
illusion.
that they're real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just have a dinosaur out in the
That
open.
makes sense.
Anyway, so Jake.
So Jake
Yeah,
goes
so-
to the
Jesus.
zoo
He meets
where
up with
he
his-
meets his mom and his brother, who's with his girlfriend, and then there's like this
Balder and Astra.
Yeah, because they worship Thor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then how come he has the name Jake?
Well,
Oh,
they don't
'cause they
all
didn't
worship
care.
Thor.
Maybe I assume his father named him because
Yeah.
his father
Yeah.
wasn't a believer.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm guessing Dad got
Dad named him after probably his dad.
yeah, and then
The
she
rest-
was like, and I'll get
Well,
Balder.
I get to, yeah.
I get the Thor name.
Yeah, and then you're Balder. At least you're not,
Loki.
Heimdall
Bald out,
or-
bald stag.
because you can't fit that on anything.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Anyway, then they run into a creepy version of a family where they're just like, oh, families make me sick because it's not real, it's all fake because I'm a crazy person, and they just kill everybody.
Yep.
But they shoot Jake in the legs and then decide to leave him alive so that he can like live with his pain because he's like, that's the real thing, derp.
Yeah, that's the lesson I taught.
It looks like they shot him in the crotch, and that's why he has the armor there now.
You
Yeah.
learn from that,
It's just ice packs.
right? But
It
like,
just constantly burns.
then like they rebuild him essentially like RoboCop, and then this guy goes to trial, but he gets off essentially, and Jake,
Yeah.
that's
Well, he just pays his fine.
He thinks
right.
he's fine. He's supposed to get reprogrammed or whatever, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing that he's not going to.
but like that's
Or like he doesn't care. He's like, sure, I'll
Yeah.
do that.
That's
Yeah.
the breaking point for Jake, and he goes home, and it turns out that like he and his dad or his brother had been like collecting all of Frank Castle's old stuff because they're like, wow, isn't that really super cool? Apparently, that doesn't put him on any lists anywhere.
Right? No.
No, he's a police officer, so.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, come
No,
on.
that's unfettered access.
Yeah.
So he decides that like, well, first of all, he finds Frank Castle's journal.
Which is like a big thing for Frank Castle. He keeps a war journal. It's actually one of his long-running series called Punisher War Journal.
Right, but it's like written like the like journal they find in Moria, because it's like carry on my work, scribble. They are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he trails off.
Yeah, he trails off, and it's like covered in blood and all that stuff, and he's just like, "That's
This is
it."
my work. I died right here. My work.
That's
Yeah.
literally how it is.
And then then it's like, "Oh, he's the
So he
Punisher."
does.
Literally,
And
this
now I'm
book
the Punisher.
ends in a flashback where he's just like, "And
Yep.
now I'm the Punisher."
Yeah.
Yep.
So you on board?
So what do you think of that?
You gonna go get issue 2? Because it's coming.
What's amazing is these are all within the same year. So there's no shortage of Punisher books
Right.
coming out. And it's like, hey, would you like the exact same thing but with lasers?
Yeah. Do you like? You want
Yeah,
lasers?
and confusing mythology.
Here's the thing. It's not the exact same thing.
No, it's slightly different.
No,
he has epic shoulder pads.
And the fact is, like, the writer might be, or the writers might be trying to make a statement about, like, the upper class.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question.
Yeah.
But, like,
People get away with
But
crime.
unfortunately, you try to put it in with this really bizarre story about this future Punisher who is really bad at his job, in a way.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
He's great. He
Flying
kills all kinds of
people.
people.
Yeah,
But has he
killed-
saved anyone?
Oh, no.
Does Frank
no.
Castle
He doesn't
ever
care.
save anyone?
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
trying to save people. He's just trying to punish
Well,
them.
he saved that cop.
Yeah, he
Did
did.
say that
Yeah,
cop.
because that other cop was already shot.
Yeah.
That guy already
And
committed a
And
crime.
were there kids there?
I don't know.
They said
There were kids
kids.
behind
Oh,
the
here,
door,
yes.
but that's just because
Yeah.
he was in a slum.
Right, but, like,
Yeah.
so...
You can imagine that he could have saved someone.
Yeah.
But he did save them.
Yeah.
Frank
He
Castle
didn't do it on
is...
purpose. This guy watched a guy get cut open.
Yeah, but he's not gonna. They're not gonna kill any future people.
Give Jake a break. It's his first day. Or it's his first issue.
Clearly
He's
it's
just starting
not
to
his
become the
first
Punisher.
day.
Oh, that's true.
He
No.
did all those other things.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's right. Yeah, he did
Yeah.
do those.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
jump
good.
into the Punisher, the final days. I'll take this one.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
could take that.
This is Punisher number 58, part 6 of 7 of the Final Day story. This episode is called Hideout. And issue, I suppose, yes. But it's an episode within the saga because it's part 6 in issue 58 of the Final Days. And this is just a classic Punisher story.
Oh, so this is where the Punisher dies, and we get
Punisher.
this guy.
Yeah, at the end of the issue, he will write like, This is a story in which the Punisher has gone through the ringer. It's obviously part of a longer-running series. I was hoping to get issue 59 because of the infamy that issue has associated with it, but it was not available, so I only had this one. And so, as such, we can just talk about this issue in its own context.
Yeah.
And the context is that the Kingpin wants Punisher dead, and Punisher just went through some shit that caused his face to get cut up, kind of like Jigsaw, one of his arch nemesis. He's not in the book, but let's move on. So, Kingpin is not satisfied with the fact that the Punisher is just mauled. And he's looking to like wrap it up because he's got some other dealings going on, I believe with the Triads as well. And he wants that deal to move smoothly, and he knows the Punisher will probably screw it up. I think that's hilarious because Kingpin is constantly at odds with Spider-Man, Daredevil, or the Punisher.
Right.
And in each issue of their own respective stories, the Kingpin is wholly and singularly obsessed with that
As
character.
if the other ones don't exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love it if there was some kind of inside reference where Kingpin's like, we need to deal with this Punisher thing because Daredevil is riding my ass and I have to handle that problem. Plus I got Spider-Man on Thursdays. It is just a nightmare schedule. So Kingpin is wholly and singularly obsessed with destroying and defeating the Punisher, and he's not satisfied with Punisher's face being gross.
He's also wholly obsessed with destroying his desk, which he accomplishes.
Naturally. He needs to illustrate...
And destroying this guy's head.
Yeah, he does wreck this guy's head because...
And life.
Because that guy gives bad news. Kingpin's constantly killing people who
He's
ran
like
away.
Vader.
Seems like a bad idea.
I know.
Eventually people are just going to stop.
Working for you?
Or bringing you bad news, they'll just lie to you.
Yeah,
Everything's fine.
I don't know. One guy we'll get to it.
In any case. So, there's a new upstart who was actually related to some family from the Triads who is now working for the Kingpin. He got attacked by Punisher's dog and has some scars to prove it. Unfortunately, Punisher's dog did not walk away.
I assume that that's actually there in the dark because he turns like a TV on.
It's true.
Faces.
No, it's the same face.
Yeah.
He's showing Frank
the same
Castle.
face of Frank Castle?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, it's just a recreation of this image.
Okay.
So
thank you. It was like he turned on his Council of Faces for a
yes,
second.
it's like him and Jor-El and the Council of Krypton, like, yes, Wilson. So
You can do it. You are the best of us.
So Kingpin charges the new guy. He's like, I thought you don't want your face crushed like the last guy. You better give me something to work with. And he's like, well, he used to be a handsome guy. He's got a gross face. He's going to want plastic surgeons.
We know he's vain. He's going to want to...
So
Why do you think he has a
Kingpin's
giant skull on his chest? Is because he knows that the internal structure of the face is really important. He's going to build that back up.
So Kingpin's like, right on, plastic surgeons. For some reason, I would never have thought of that. Have a cigar. You're part of my inner circle now.
I thought the cigar was going to poison him.
Yeah, me too. But no, in
no.
fact, he's part of the team.
But the cigar plays you get more of those throughout this issue.
Oh yeah,
That's really weird.
it is weird. So they start circulating images of the Punisher and what he used to look like before the gross scarring. It's an amazing photo. It's like his headshot, basically. For
from Vietnam.
Yeah, I love it because it's everything that you associate with this Punisher from 1992. Where
It's his 8x10 glossy Merc photo.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for a solid Merc, you want this guy. Plus, he's hot. And so they're circulating it around. They really want to catch him now,
Yeah, they put
even
a
though
bounty on him.
$100,000 bounty on him. So word around the street catches on. Different gangs are starting to get in on the action. They go to check out like an abandoned amusement park, which is of course coincidentally where he's hiding. And they're going to go in there, but it's too scary, so they bail. And Punisher's
Well, not
like,
without the Uzis, they're not going to
exactly.
Yeah.
They can't leave without the Uzis. So, so they go. So then we cut to like the inside of one of the roller coaster snake heads, and that's where Micro is hiding Punisher.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
who? Microwave?
He's like,
Yeah, it's everyone's.
Is this a bad guy?
Right?
What's
Yeah,
happening?
he's the guy from Nakatomi Towers who's trying to wheel and deal and doesn't make it.
He certainly
Die
looks
Hard.
like it.
He does look at the
He
cocaine.
does look like, yes.
So anyway, Micro's like, okay, I'm on the horn with a plastic surgeon, Frank. We're gonna get you fixed up. And Frank's like, oh, like, who is it? You know, he's like checking references even though he's dying, and he's on morphine as well.
Be lucky if you get the plastic surgeon from Batman 1989.
Exactly.
What's their health grade?
Yeah.
How
What are they
reviewed?
rated on? Yeah. So Micro's like, beggars can't be choosers. So then we cut back to the new guy who's getting like roped into the Kingpin's thing. He's trying to like manipulate his butterfly knife while also like balancing on a balance beam.
Well, it's because he's Asian.
Yeah.
Right. We got to illustrate like his karate moves or something.
And his kung fu knives.
What's amazing about that is then Kingpin comes in. He's like, "You suck. I'm gonna have like actual warriors train you so you can be useful."
I
And he's
assume
like,
the hand?
I guess so. I don't know though.
a
So,
ninja master, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says a ninja.
So it
He
could be
said
Elektra,
that, and I was
it could-
like, wow, this is 90s.
Yeah. So then he's like, cool. He gets dressed. He goes outside. He gets harassed by his uncle, who's of course a triad. And he's like, "What are you doing working for this Kingpin? Like, you should be working for me." And he's like, "Later, old man. I'm doing fine." And
But
so,
filled with Asian, like, racist slogans.
oh yeah. So then he meets with like the Jamaican team because the writer team, of course, watched Predator 2 recently.
Exactly. So King Willie shows up.
Yeah, so King Willie shows up, and he, of course, talks like he's from the other tide. And so they talk about how, like, yeah, we want to work with the Kingpin, but we're worried about this Punisher guy. And it's like, you know, you could be working with anyone and be worried about the Punisher. Like,
Yeah.
the Punisher's a
Yeah.
constant worry no matter what. That's,
Yeah.
As
that's
long as you're
why-
in crime.
Right, you
Yeah.
could also be worried about Iron Man
or
Daredevil
Spider-Man, like
or
Punisher. You're really going to focus on the Punisher? It's like, yeah, because the book
Yeah.
is called Punisher.
And not only that, but, like, he's the only one that's going to kill us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need assurances before we work with the Kingpin. That sounds like the kind of person who doesn't want to work with the Kingpin, from my perspective.
Yeah.
I get that it's all superficial. Everyone who says what they mean, and they mean what they say.
Yeah.
And so King Willie definitely wants to work with the Kingpin. But the fact that he's like, I won't work with the Kingpin till you kill the Punisher. It's like,
Yeah. Well, I kind of understand it because it's like going up to Wilson Fisk level is like putting like more of a target on you. Like,
Yes,
you're
it's
more
true.
of a player, so you may be more of a target.
You-
Like,
yeah,
maybe
you'll
Frank
be more
Castle
high
doesn't
profile.
bother with him
yeah.
at this point.
So
little high heels.
yeah, so the guys go back to the amusement park with their Uzis, which of course they're not holding. They're holding like
And
assault
those aren't
weapons.
really
Yeah,
Uzis,
those are
yeah,
not
what-
Uzis.
M16s.
yeah.
They couldn't find their Uzis.
But it doesn't matter because we
I
get
guess
the
he did.
greatest page splash in the history of Punisher comics where Punisher takes out these guys riding a roller coaster.
And shooting more casings out of an Uzi
Than ever
would
possible.
ever be able to fit on a screen.
Punisher literally
He's got
rides
Yeah.
the roller coaster on the track. So
Standing
they,
up.
they hear the clackety clack of the roller coaster coming, and he's just riding it like a surfboard while firing the Uzis that I guess they forgot and murdering everyone.
Yep.
And it is awesome. I audibly laughed aloud. Then he launches and he says, "Tell the Kingpin I'm not dead." And he like leaps off of the roller coaster, lands on another guy. It's some of the best.
I
How are
love,
they
Crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love that. Like, he's like, "Tell him I'm not dead." Are you
And
he's gonna
leave
kill
him alive?
everyone.
Like,
No, but
yeah.
then-
how are they supposed to do that?
As he's trying to kill the last guy and thereby not spread his message, he falls and hurts himself, and then the other guy's like, "Well, nice try."
Well, guess what? He was just put through the ringer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm amazed he's even on the roller coaster in the first
yeah,
place.
but like, don't yell, "Tell the Kingpin I'm not dead,"
And then
just
immediately-
fall down and hurt your knee.
Yeah.
So then Micro gets the drop
Hey,
on
you
that
ever-
guy,
you ever
kills
hurt
him.
your knee? That shit hurts.
It does. It's one of the worst places to get shot in. So Kingpin's, of course, like doing all the tropes of every. He's
Yep.
got cigars in one scene. He's breaking desks. The other scene, which is presumably in the same goddamn high rise. Now we're in an indoor golf course with real grass.
Yeah.
And Kingpin is working on his putts, and so he gets some bad news, and
He's a putz.
and the new guy that's coming in that's going to give him bad news is the guy who really is deserving of that bad of the reckoning the Kingpin's going to give him. So he tells the new guy, you know, the kung fu guy, he's like, "Why don't you take my putter and wait for the guy to come through the door and then kill him with it?"
And here's the worst part.
And I love it. He goes, "Might I suggest a 9-iron?" And he's, "Oh, that's right. You were a caddy, weren't you?" He's like, "Yeah, that's right." And he's like, "Well, next time I'm going to take you down to the
To the links.
to the
Yeah.
and we'll
Now, why is a 9-iron better?
it's heavier."
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
look, there's a
that makes
little more
sense.
width on that
Yeah.
one. You're gonna really.
Yeah.
I love it. He hits him and he goes, "What's your handicap, son?" "It's a 6. Well, we'll get you down to 2." And then he
To 4.
and he lights
He
up.
doesn't-
Yeah,
he-
he lights up that cigar. that
Another,
he's
it's
given.
another cigar.
That's right. He hands him a
another
cigar. He's
cigar.
like, "Here you go, son. You're doing well."
Smoke!
Then we meet the plastic surgeon that Micro has procured, and don't worry, she's totally hot.
But she doesn't normally dress like this, and
She
Frank
does not.
She's
mentions
dressed
that.
like
He does.
a
He's like,
hooker.
why are you dressed like a
and
hooker?
I was amazed that they actually addressed that.
I know.
Yeah.
She's dressed like a hooker, or at least that's what Frank thinks.
Yeah.
She says, I'm not normally dressed like this, but I'm trying to like keep a low profile.
She's also like dressed like she should really be in a Batman comic around this time.
or a Spider-Man comic, 'cause
Yeah.
she's pretty much dressed like Mary Jane is
Yeah.
normally this time. So Punisher she'll only meet with Punisher one-on-one. So they meet at the New York Public Library. And it's the most conspicuous they could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
We got like this huge-haired redhead hooker who's like totally fine standing on the steps of this public library all alone in the 3 a.m. Then Punisher comes out wearing an amazing gangster hat, a huge billowing coat, his Punisher uniform, and holding a gun that does not exist in
Well,
the world.
I mean, look, he could be her pimp.
Yes.
Yeah, a giant
The most
militaristic
aggressive
pimp.
pimp
Yeah.
I've ever
Oh,
heard
his
of.
face is covered in scars.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, but like it's hard to see that at night. But the point is that she is trying to be not
Incognitus.
herself, so that she does not get discovered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they are immediately discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't work.
He drops all of his disguises and then says, "They found us." And
Oh,
then,
did they?
And then we have to wait for the next issue to see what happens.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a pinup in here. We see Punisher kicking ass under the water.
Underwater for
right?
some
We
reason.
see Punisher killing
Aboriginal.
tribesmen
Yeah.
who have a voodoo
voodoo
doll
doll.
of
So I
Frank.
guess they had it coming.
Yeah,
They chose
yeah,
to
that-
mess with him.
They tried to punish him, and
Yeah,
he
and
punished
he
them.
punished
back.
them.
And don't forget the Destroyer.
And an ad for Remo Williams returns with an all-new adventure in the Destroyer. So this is, of course, Part 6 of 7, but I gotta tell you, this felt like just a standalone, regular old issue of the Punisher. Like,
Yeah.
you got all the context for what you need. You know exactly where everything's going. The only thing you don't know is how Punisher gets his face scarred,
Yeah.
which you need to read the first 5 parts to get.
We also know that the Punisher's dog is dead.
Yes, we
Right.
do. We
Yeah.
get confirmation the dog didn't work out, and that makes Punisher pissed. But we don't quite
We asked,
get
like,
a
who killed my dog.
yeah,
or
we don't
something.
get we don't quite get the John Wick situation.
Yeah.
unfortunately, which
No.
is too bad.
I mean, the Punisher doesn't need any additional motivation.
No, it's true.
He already is killing
But
people.
I will give you a little bit of a tidbit about issue 59.
Yeah.
At
What,
the
are you
end-
gonna do?
I-
I think you should wait.
all right, we'll wait. So in any case, that's what this issue's all about, and it has, of course, a cover that it illustrates art that has nothing to do with the inside of the book.
Yeah, nothing
Well,
at all.
I mean that's her.
No, I mean,
Is
like,
her?
it looks nothing like what's
I
happening.
guess
Yeah.
it's her.
I don't
That
think
is-
that is her. She
that
doesn't
is
have red
not
hair.
her.
Totally different outfit. That's right.
I think it's what the cover artist thought she was going to look like.
Yes.
Oh.
I
yeah.
thought that was
Because
King Willie.
they also didn't put the scars on his face.
No.
That's right.
Like the cover artist
This-
didn't know what was going on.
This could easily
Yeah,
just
okay.
be an image that they had in the back.
Oh, that could
This
be.
could be,
Yeah.
one of the other covers, like him fighting the tribalman.
Yeah, like, it could be anything. Like, whatever, we just need an issue of the Punisher.
Yep.
Like, maybe he's underwater in the next issue. Like, who cares?
What? This is what he does.
Who cares?
He
It
kills
looks
people.
cool.
It looks cool. Looks no
No.
one who's buying
Right now,
this-
he's
No, it doesn't.
he's
No,
this
protecting
art is
someone in
terrible.
skimpy lingerie, firing a gun. How is that not cool? That's
Yeah.
the Punisher.
Listen, and like this is one of the 3 covers we could go with: underwater,
And you-
Aboriginals, or
And you picked
this
the
chick.
worst art.
We picked the one with at least there's a woman in a skimpy outfit in this book.
That's true. And there is a gun.
An impossible
I would
gun.
hope.
And
Okay.
Punisher's there. So there you
So-
go. What more do you want?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we got these 3 Punisher
Yeah.
books that all are very different, yet all very, very similar. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, which one is the good? Which is the best issue?
I'm going to say Warzone.
Warzone. Not even a question.
I'm gonna vote for Final Days.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was exactly what you would expect from a Punisher book. I thought that this was kind of like one note and boring.
Interesting.
I thought it was a little melodramatic for no reason. I liked his motivations better in here than I do in this. However, the art is so much better in this. Like, superior art, I think superior story, despite the fact that this is like the first part of a miniseries. A miniseries that will last 41 issues. But yeah.
Right now, I know that Tiffany is weighing that vertical splash page in her brain.
Obviously, I'm gonna go with Punisher. No.
No.
I honestly have to go with this book.
This one?
With Warzone?
Yay!
Probably because of the fact that this most reminded me of Dark Knight. Honestly, like in the the narration of him, on like in the way that he's written, in a sense, I felt, instead of it being melodramatic, I thought it was a really interesting peek into Frank Castle's mind, because oftentimes he's like portrayed as a raving lunatic, which I
Yes.
think is taking him too far.
Yeah.
This is the side of his lunacy that makes the most sense to me. Like, he's coping with things in all the wrong ways, and then
Yeah.
putting him against someone like Microchip, who's also dealing with loss and doing it in an appropriate way, and to see Frank's totally inappropriate reaction to
Yes.
that, I think it makes it a really like strong examination of him without beating you over the head with it.
I agree.
You mean making him a jealous lover?
Yeah,
and then
like,
waiting in the
it's-
dark with a gun?
Or it's funny.
Well, like him just being like, I can't, like when Microchip, he thought like he had betrayed him. He's like, I can't lose anyone else. I've already
Yes.
lost everything, and to lose this one stable thing that's in my life right
Yeah,
now.
so
like,
I gotta make him more damaged.
right, exactly.
he'll
like,
come back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like I
So
was like,
he'll only have me.
Yeah.
right. I was like, that is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's also
overall,
incredibly
like,
dark.
Yeah.
yeah, and
I-
again, the art overall like won me out, like won
Easily,
me over
yeah.
easily.
Oh, no, the
regardless
art
of
in
that
this is
splash
perfect.
page, which I truly did make that noise.
I love
believe
the
it.
splash page though. I was like, this is great.
I mean, it's a
I just
great
had
image.
more fun reading.
It's a great
this
image,
book.
but
Well, this had
you
Wilson
really think
Fisk.
that this
And
works
it
better?
wasn't Fisk. It had
Yeah.
it had a roller coaster
No, I agree.
shootout.
I especially don't want to be reading this in public and being like, don't mind me.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
At least it
this
doesn't
is-
like fold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be too much.
I look at it and be like, da 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 da. Oh,
This is-
wow.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately.
Oh, that's fantastic.
baby.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly,
Yeah, do it.
this book like
Penetrate them.
it's got so much going on for it art wise.
Yeah.
The cover itself
I love the
is
cover.
the same art as that's in the book. You know
Yeah, which
exactly
is
what
rare.
you're getting.
Mhm.
It has
It's
die
got the
cut.
cutout.
It's
That's
a
fucking
wraparound.
great.
Yeah.
It's got
wraparound.
the torture scene
Like,
that I
it's-
love.
For
Yeah.
me, this is a book that Marvel was really proud of coming out. Like
They-
this number one, like they were like, "Yep,
We got it. We finally figured it out. We cracked the code.
yeah."
Even
But-
though we've got 3 other Punisher books coming out.
This,
Yeah.
on the other hand, like I
This is more like Day in the Life of Punisher.
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like I'm not
Oh,
saying
you don't have
this
to
is
defend it. It's
bad.
fine.
No. I was having a really hard time because I didn't think this was a bad comic.
Mhm.
Like I
it's good.
agree. I think
No,
it
I
had a
just
lot
straight
of
up
good
enjoyed
points.
it. I was
yeah.
like,
It's better structured than this one.
which is
Like, it's following a line, like an entire arc where like stuff has happened and he's trying to deal with it again.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just find it a little bit of like a little
no,
crazy. And you focus on the Kingpin way too much.
I,
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
that's
you always
probably
have to
what
keep in
I
mind,
like
like,
That's
this
one of
is
the-
this is in the middle of an arc. It's actually near
Yeah.
the end of it. This is the first issue, so like, they're going to
Yeah.
be told differently.
Yeah.
So again, I
Yeah.
don't think this is bad, but
yeah. But what is the bad? Do you guys?
Wait, the ugly?
Or
Yeah.
the bad.
Oh, the bad. No, I said the bad. Which one's the bad?
Well, for me, this one's the bad.
This one winds up being de facto the bad.
Yeah.
It, to me, it's a day in the life of Punisher, and I don't care
Right.
about that. The parts with Wilson Fisk, to me, were the best parts of the book. I loved all those scenes.
I
thought it was
agree.
great. I don't really care about the Punisher, but it's not really fair because he's in the middle of an adventure,
Yeah.
and he's just, like, wounded and stuff.
That's
so
the thing. I like seeing
He gets
Punisher
that
like
one-
on the on the defensive. Like
Yeah.
Punisher like usually has the drop on people, and it's
Yeah.
like it's fun to see Punisher on the run. I'm
Right,
like, that's
right.
kind of fun.
But then, like, he turns it around, like, immediately.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
he does get...
he does lose his dog.
He does.
Yeah.
He loses.
He
Well,
lo-
and
well, he
the
loses
guy
his
gets a
footing
gun to
once.
him at one
Yes.
point.
Yeah, and then Microchip.
And he actually has
Takes
to
care of it.
rely on. What really killed it for me is the end. The ending of this book, I find.
Oh, it just stops.
well, it's not just that it just stops. The whole setup is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you meeting in this way?
well,
it just
I guess
seems
because
like
that's Microchip's plan. Microchip is apparently not good at
right.
planning.
Like,
Not
it's
a
just
good
the
plan.
worst.
Well,
Like,
and she's
it couldn't
like-
possibly work.
No.
I'll only meet Punisher alone. Microchip's like, what about me? I'm the one that set this up.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be there? I can drive you
Yeah.
guys to where you need to go.
That's fair.
Yeah. It just seems like he's just. And maybe there's more context earlier in the book. It just seems like he's making a lot of, like, really dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
Why?
I could
don't-
not.
like this. I understand why he's making mistakes because he's like you can see him being out of his mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this one, it's just like I don't know.
No.
I
This
didn't
is
know
a
your
better.
face is cut up.
It's ultimately a better book.
Yeah.
It's just that I had more fun reading it.
I could not stand George, the lackey that
No?
Kingpin is dealing
See,
with.
I love him because he's such a son of a bitch. You know
Yes.
the Kingpin's gonna crush his head, or Punisher's gonna like rip off his
Oh, yeah,
balls
no,
and put it in his
that-
mouth. Like it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
I
but
like
then
those characters.
George is dealing with his uncle, and his uncle's like, "What are you doing here? You bring dishonor
You've
on
dishonored our
We're giving
family."
this man. You cause great loss of face. How can you desert us?" I'm like,
It's so great.
yeah.
Jesus, man.
It's every schlocky thing
Well,
about
it's
Punisher.
like the triad version of Sato from Karate Kid 2 and
Yes.
his nephew.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
but like really bad.
But really, the ugly is Punisher 2099,
Oh my
which
What?
is one of the worst
God.
things in the world.
This is just
The art is terrible. The writing is amateur hour.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
sto-
The plot
the
itself.
premise. I remember as a kid, literally being like, "Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who
Who
cares
cares?
about a future Punisher.
Yep.
Like, I can barely find my interest in a contemporary Punisher, and you're
Yeah.
going to try and tell me a story about the same goddamn guy in a future I don't buy or care about?
Yeah, and it's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
It's just like...
I like the premise, though. I like the idea of, like, this dystopian future that, like, sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't paid up your insurance with the police
That's
company.
the problem, though. Like, the Punisher is the lamest idea.
Yes.
In
In
this
a
book.
interesting
in a book
concept.
that has several interesting ideas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the main character is the worst, lamest.
It's the worst
one.
thing.
Yeah, because
and
like,
that's why it fails.
That's the wrong person to be the Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he just doesn't. He doesn't have the passion for it. Like,
No.
it's just he.
Oh, and it's great later. He'll get, like, a girlfriend and stuff, and then, like, he'll be like, I'm done being a Punisher, I'm happy. And then, like, she'll turn into... Like, they'll turn her into glass or something, and then, like, he holds her, and then she shatters in his hands.
Oh, my God.
And he, like, grips her made of shards, and, like, there's black blood pouring out of him
Oh,
because
my
it's, of course,
God.
approved by the Comics Code Authority. And he's like, yeah! And he, like, reaffirms his decision to become Punisher. And what's great is he's a footnote in the entire, like, legacy of 2099. Like, because as well he should be. He's
Yeah.
just a dude with guns.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, there
He's
you have
a
it,
fanboy.
everybody.
Wow.
He's a Punisher fanboy.
Yeah, he read his book, and he's like, I'm gonna do this! What's in the book?
You're not gonna change the idea at all and make it your own?
No!
Oh, I am. I see. I have
scramble
like,
my face.
My teeth go down to my crotch on my shirt.
Yeah. And I use your guns. Well,
Yeah. Well, no, you're.
I look just like you.
Like a little bit after you.
Yeah.
But way before my time.
right?
Also, like, everyone give me a break. My family died in front of me.
Yeah.
Like everyone did.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, they clearly illustrate to us that this kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah,
and,
so, like, what makes
and
you so special?
only him. Like, only he was like, I have to rise to the...
Yeah, no, it'd
Yeah.
be great if
There
it
should
was
be
like
like
another.
1,000 Batmans in this,
Right? That'd be great if it's literally like, oh, another Punisher.
right?
We have a Punisher every
Yeah.
few years.
Yeah.
Somebody
It
gets
happens all the
upset with
time.
the shitty rules we have in
Yeah.
place.
It's just, this guy's really good at killing.
It's just he's
Yeah.
better at it.
Yep.
It's because he's an inside. He has inside baseball because he's
Right.
literally a member of the
I was gonna
police
say, it's
force.
like, they'll never put those things together.
No.
Oh, it's almost like he was trained. Well, that's above all. Well, I'm clocking
Well,
out.
well.
Yeah, well, I'm done. I'm getting paid for my job, so I don't give a shit.
You know what
There
else
were-
really hurts this book is placing what happens to his family at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're already like numb to all this horrible violence, so
Yeah.
it just there's no emotional
Yeah, when they happen to
impact
him,
it.
Right.
Yeah.
And just not making it look like a flashback.
No.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
you spend too much
That's
time
the
trying
thing.
to figure out when it's happening,
Yep.
and then you don't even care.
Yeah,
But
what
then
really-
just like this is just
And
a
also,
mess, fuck it.
the random family that doesn't like. It's just so schlocky. Like
Yep.
having these people show up and be like, "No, we're a family too, but like we suck, and like we think all families suck."
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
you
It's
need
like,
something.
but you're a-
What is your motivation?
You
What?
need-
Kill me!
Way-
No! I've already ruined your family, so I'm
It
done.
would
You're
have
like,
been.
I'm like the Joker.
It would
Wait,
have been
what?
way better if it had just been a person who just killed them with no reason.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
So it's like, look, we live in a society where I can just get away with this.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
need a
Ha, ha,
reason.
ha, ha.
I will literally just shoot
I just
you.
like killing.
what?
Yeah.
I'm rich. Slam.
Yeah,
You're gonna
like,
go killing again.
that is a better example of why the system
Yeah.
fails.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
this is the ugly because it's just terrible
Yeah.
in every way. It fails on every level.
Yeah.
It fails to make me engaged in the protagonist. I don't care for the universe. I don't like his motivations. And technically speaking, the book is poorly put together.
Yep.
It's just it's by the numbers panel layout,
Yeah.
but when it's supposed to try and illustrate a transition, it fails to do
Can't
so.
do that.
The art itself is kind of crappy. The best looking thing in this is the Brontosaurus.
The only interesting thing I found in this book that I thought was interesting because it stood out was an ad where it says, "We all must deal with the monster within."
That's in every Marvel comic at this time.
I didn't realize because it's like, look, you can call the Boys Town National Hotline and talk to someone. Like, if you're having problems, talk to someone about them.
Right.
Oh, you
If
mean
you
like
feel
and,
like
they,
Frank
and they
Castle.
strategically
Yeah,
put them in
in a picture book. Like,
They're in every Marvel
rather
comic.
than kill somebody, maybe you should.
Maybe you should just call the
somebody.
Boys Club. No, it's in every Marvel comic. But I really like that idea.
I didn't see it in
But they were
these.
just worried. They were worried people were going to be like, "I'm a Punisher. That's how I feel." And they're like,
gotta
"Well,
do
but
that."
And listen, we all love a good time.
Yeah.
But before you take it too far,
Maybe
should
make
call
a phone
someone.
call.
Like, and
a
so
good
many,
lesson.
so many Fleer sports card
Well.
advertisements in these
Yeah.
books.
Can I say about two things I really like about this?
Yeah.
First of all, I love the second issue cover.
Yeah.
That's coming. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That looks awesome.
Also, I like the small, minute detail that Frank sleeps on what looks like an army cot
yeah,
because that's what he's comfortable with.
right,
I was like, that's awesome.
yeah.
That is a little detail that just shows how much they paid attention.
That's Ramita and Dixon.
Not only-
Dixon's like
I was gonna say you have got the costume there, but you also got Shotgun sort of imitating that with the two pockets that look like eyes.
I think Shotgun's the
I did not
worst
see that.
thing
Shotgun
about this.
is by far the worst thing in this book.
Now,
Yes.
but
'Cause
maybe
he's
he's
so out of
supposed to be.
place.
I think Shotgun being like a pretender Punisher is that's why he looks so stupid.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Anybody can do this?
But
All right, I was
you
gonna
gotta
kill
tie
people.
it in.
Well, I'm
Like,
sure
you
he's
gotta-
part of Punisher's platoon or something. I don't know.
Right, but like in the book, it has to be tied in.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can't just be like, we're done doing this. Now let's go over here and do this.
Well,
and now
and
let's go
that's
do
the
this.
thing,
other
But this is
thing.
I feel like this is a storytelling trope that they used during this time period, because I
Yeah.
know when we were doing
I've seen
Ghost
it
Rider,
before.
we
Yeah.
would just be like, here's a character. An issue or so later, we're going to get back to that.
Yeah.
But like,
But this
remember
is
that
coming.
character.
Yeah.
But remember, this is a #1 too.
Yeah.
So like, we'll get there.
Yeah, there's no
We're still
context
focusing on
because
Punisher.
whoa, we just want
That's
you to
how we
know
met-
Shotgun's coming.
That's how we
gonna be
made
awesome.
Johnny Blaze in Danny Ketch's book. Where It
Yes.
was just like, hey, yeah, he's going to come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny Blaze is coming.
Don't worry if you don't know who that is.
Johnny Blaze is coming, and he's in the book too.
He's gonna cross attack Danny Ketch. So there you have it, Punisher edition of Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys next week with an all new episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks a lot for watching.